Thank you for chair. Guzanpura. I'm very pleased to be here and make a presentation about my research. My presentation itself is not case study for a company or community or any other else, but for one country, Japan. And also, I'm an economist, so I love statistical analysis. So my presentation is based on the statistical analysis. My fundamental question is, are Japanese workers workaholic? What do you think? Yeah, that's my challenge. This is a figure based on the OECD Better Life Index. You can see the third and fourth in terms of the employees working very long are Korean and Japanese. So the East Asian work very long. And in terms of the per week working hour, Korean workers work 43.7 hours. Japanese worked 38.9 hours. Compared to the Netherlands, the shortest, worked 29.1 hours. So different. So my research question is about, does Asian people allocate their time ideally for work? How can I tackle this question? Evaluate by job satisfaction. We can calculate an optimal time allocation for work, but also as an activity to maximize the job satisfaction. That's the way I did. Previous findings show us the job satisfaction is one of the empirical measurements to examine the subject well-being at work. And job satisfaction links to work motivation and then labor productivity. And also, job satisfaction links to attractiveness of the workplace. For example, Andrew Clark in the Paris School of Economics examined the relationship between job satisfaction and 6 elements of job characteristics, meaning the payment, working hours, future prospect, difficulty of the job, job content, interpersonal relationship at workplace. And all 6 characteristics affect job satisfaction, positively or negatively. Especially you can see the working hours related negatively to the job satisfaction. Previous finding about working hours, we can find long working hours led to the bad health. Also, you know the karoshi, overwork death. We have a problem. And it also leads to the driving accident. And also, short working hours relate to the income. So, short working hours reduce the income level. So the working hours has a positive and negative effect of working condition. So I examine the relationship between the working hours and job satisfaction, and also relationship between the sleeping hours and job satisfaction. In terms of working hours, long working hours and short working hours both negatively correlate with job satisfaction. The sleeping hours, short sleeping hours, may lead to lower job satisfaction. Also, I looked at commuting hours. The long commuting hours may lead to lower job satisfaction, and short commuting hours might lead to higher job satisfaction. Also, I look at the house working hours. Long house working hours may lead to lower job satisfaction. Then it is opposite. So I examine this model, not only the time use allocation, but also age, gender, job status, income, stress, plus work motivation. Because we have a different job status, different gender, age, different income level, so I try to control that kind of element. But the focus is on the time allocation. I use the data from the government of Japan called Happiness Survey for Japanese Young, conducted by the Economic and Social Research Institute in Japan. Survey period March and May 2011, and they focus on the male and female aged 20 and 39. And total sample size is around 12,000, but my analysis focused on the workers, so the sample is about 8,000. I will show the result. This is the time allocation by young workers. The average working hours is longer than national average, 9 hours. Commuting is 1.3 hours. And sleeping is very short, 6.6 hours. And childcare only less than 1 hour. The other is 5 hours. And when you look at this figure, the working, a very small percentage work less than 7. Then 8 is the highest. Second one is 10 hours. Then 9 is the third. So most of the young workers work 8 till 10 hours per day. This is a per day. And if I calculate more than 10 hours, it consists around 40%. It's quite a lot. It's more than the national average. It's 25%. So it's also I found interesting. Long working hours reduce other activity, sleeping hours, housework, and hours for others activity, for sleep, for housework, and for childcare. And this is the result of the job satisfaction. 35% of the young Japanese workers said they are dissatisfied with their job. This is a result of the statistical analysis. You don't mind, but you you don't need to care about the figure. Just look at the star. The 3 star shows the strong correlation with the job satisfaction. So here is the time use. The working hours very much related to the job satisfaction. And also sleeping hours very much related to the job satisfaction. The Model 1 and Model 2 difference between the Model 1 and Model 2 is either include the job quality, job motivation, or not. And the figure shows the Model 2 is much better. So based on this number, I can calculate the optimal time allocation for each activity. So this is the optimum allocation for work. You can see if the worker works very short time, the satisfaction levels, this figure is not much. Just shows the high and low. So the job satisfaction goes up when the workers work long, until 6 hours, but then the job satisfaction decreased after that. So the maximum job satisfaction shows the 6 hours is the optimum allocation for work. This one is the optimal allocation for commuting. You can see the job satisfaction increased after the 10 hours, but it's not realistic. So actually, the 0 hours is the optimum allocation for commuting. Then optimum allocation for sleep. You can see that the optimum allocation for sleep is 8 hours. So that's much longer than actual sleeping hours by Japanese young workers. So my conclusion, as I said, optimum time allocation for work is 6. So Japanese young workers are not workaholic, as I might say. So optimal time allocation for sleep, 8 hours. It also needs sleep to enjoy work more. And also I didn't mention at the table, but the important factor is not job status, but job quality, the motivation. Then job satisfaction, time allocation are intercorrelated. From my result, I'd like to make some recommendation for business first. In order to improve the work motivation and then labor productivity, to check the relationship between job satisfaction and working hours. The worker may work long, but they may not have enough job satisfaction. That's the real. Then to look carefully at the worker's health condition and recommend to sleep enough. As Dashion Karmaura mentioned yesterday, sleep is important. Right? Then I have a recommendation to the CBS and GNH. In GNH survey, they have job satisfaction question and also time use. It means by using GNH survey data, they can try to calculate optimum time allocation for working, commuting, and sleep for Bhutanese workers. And also, when they develop a GNH on business, take account of the intercorrelation between job satisfaction and time allocation. because yesterday, Kamawandi and Toki mentioned about the job satisfaction and time use, working hours and sleep is in the some of the indicators in it. My future work, I'm going to conduct the new survey in the Netherlands. Sorry, just a few words. I'm going to calculate the optimum time allocation for working, community, and sleep in the Netherlands compared to the Japanese cases. So that's my dream. Okay, cutting chair. Thank you very much.